Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome everyone. I'm really pleased to be starting the JApji Sahib course. We've been through the Mool Mantar so far, and now this journey that we're going to be going on is of immense importance. We're going to be undertaking an absolute roller coaster. This Barney goes through the absolute peaks and troughs that you can imagine. It takes you right outside into the expanses of space, to the edges of the universe, and it brings you right back into the very core of your own existence, right to the root of who you are. This is the most significant Bani, which is why when Guru Arjan Dev Ji compiled the Guru Granth Sahib Ji, he decided that it must begin with Sri JApji Sahib. What we've learnt so far has been described as the Mool, the root. But there are a couple of questions that have to be asked around the root. No root is formed out of nothing. All plants begin with a seed. So if this is the Mool Mantar that we've been covering so far, then what is the seed? And if it is a root, then what is the plant? What is the tree? You see, the root on its own doesn't have any meaning. It comes from somewhere. And Gurbani has these analogies. So while we've been talking about the Mool Mantar, there's another type of mantar that Gurbani talks about, which is Bij Mantar. Bij. And in Punjabi, the word Bij means seed. So while we've been discussing the Mool Mantar, there is a seed that sits behind all of it. When we've gone through the Mool Mantar and we've known that every single word in the Mool Mantar is actually talking about the same thing, that seed now becomes a little bit clearer. The seed is Ik. The Bij, the root, comes from a seed. The root has some form, but the seed is absolutely formless. In Punjabi, we'll use the word Sukham, which means subtle, almost invisible, very subtle. So the Bij is Sukham, almost invisible. The root has some structure. The root is what holds the whole thing together. Without the root, nothing can grow. JApji Sahib is now the beginning of the tree. In fact, JApji Sahib explains everything. The entire universe is explained in the JApji Sahib. The entire system that's been created is explained in the JApji Sahib. The rest of Guru Granth Sahib can be understood like the tree. The leaves, the branches, the fruit, the flowers, that is the rest of Gurbani. But the bark, the main trunk, is the JApji Sahib. And you can see that actually Guru Granth Sahib is structured in these ways. There is one JApji Sahib, out of which lots of Bani comes, and the Bani is divided into almost different flavors, which are categorized in the different rags. So rags can almost be seen as flavors, different branches of this tree. but the JApji Sahib is what the tree is made of, and the Mool Mantar is what the tree is supported by. But ultimately, it's all talking about ik, which is the bij, which is the very essence without which the tree cannot even begin. Gurbani uses the analogy that look at the size of a tree, and the entire tree exists within the seed. Yeah? The whole tree is there in the seed itself. The entire tree that you see started from something which to us looks completely insignificant. Yet the whole tree exists in a tiny little seed. And in the same way, all of creation, the entire universe can be seen as the tree, but it all comes from that one. Without the one, nothing can exist. And in fact, the one exists throughout the tree. There's no distinction between the seed, the root, and the tree. They're all part of the same thing. So you can say that the tree is the seed. The tree is the roots. This now helps us to understand that we're not talking about something separate. The notion that there is a God that sits somewhere separate from the tree doesn't hold any weight with this analogy. The whole of the universe is the one. Arjan Dev Ji compiled the Guru Granth Sahib Ji. He decided that it must begin with Sri JApji Sahib. What we've learnt so far has been described as the Mool, the root. But there are a couple of questions that have to be asked around the root. No root is formed out of nothing. All plants begin with a seed. So if this is the Mool Mantar that we've been covering so far, then what is the seed? And if it is a root, then what is the plant? What is the tree? You see, the root on its own doesn't have any meaning. It comes from somewhere. And Gurbani has these analogies. So while we've been talking about the Mool Mantar, there's another type of mantar that Gurbani talks about, which is Bij Mantar. Bij. And in Punjabi, the word Bij means seed. Gurbani. So let's start with a little bit of a background, an introduction to the JApji Sahib. Who created the JApji Sahib? If we look at all the Baniya that's written in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, all of them have been attributed to an author. Look at Sukhmani Sahib. It tells you Mahalla Panjwa. Gauri Sukhmani, Mahalla Panjwa. Look at Anand Sahib, Ramkali Mahalla Tija, Guru Amar Das Ji. Now, JApji Sahib doesn't have a Mahalla written. It doesn't have the name of a Guru attributed to it. Yet all the historians, all the renowned scholars within our tradition, all agree that JApji Sahib belongs to Guru Nanak Dev Ji. It has been authored and written by Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the first Guru. And again, if we look at Guru Granth Sahib Ji, all the Baniya, whenever they've been written, have been written in the Guru order. So within any rag, the Shabads always begin with Guru Nanak Dev Ji Shabad in that rag. Then they follow the order of the Gurus. So it makes sense that Guru Granth Sahib Ji, the entire Granth, begins with a Bani by the first Guru. So it was written by Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Where was it written? Again, all the scholars agree that it was written in the town of Kartarpur. Remember we talked about this town before when we covered the subject Kartarpur, and the town was land that was donated to Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and where Guru Nanak Dev Ji would traditionally have used his name to say that this town, this land belongs to me, Guru Nanak Dev Ji doesn't put his name to that town. He puts the one, the creator, as the name and the owner of that town, saying that this town belongs to the oneness, Kartarpur. We also know that Guru Nanak Dev Ji settled in Kartarpur after he completed his 4 travels, his 4 udasis. So that also gives us an idea of when the JApji Sahib was written. So it's in the later stage of Guru Nanak Dev Ji's life. So this isn't necessarily the first Shabad or the first Bani that Guru Nanak Dev Ji has written, because we hear of stories as Guru Nanak Dev Ji is travelling around in his 4 udasis, as he's having conversations with different people. The conversations, for example, let's look at the Siddh Gosht. The Siddh Gosht is a conversation with the holy yogis and the sadhus of the time, but that happens when Guru Nanak Dev Ji is quite young. In that Shabad, Guru Nanak Dev Ji is referred to as a boy, as a young man. The Siddhs, who are the elders, refer to him as Balak, as a child. So we know that certain Baniya have been written before the JApji Sahib. So this isn't the first Bani that Guru Nanak Dev Ji has written. It's written in the later half of Guru Nanak Dev Ji's life.